Welcome to Microsoft. My name is Eric Nelson, and I'm a Developer Experience PM for the Windows Mobile team. And today I have Mike Francis here. Mike, do you want to introduce yourself and let them know what you do?
Sure. My name is Mike Francis. I'm an application development consultant, and I focus on Windows Mobile applications. So I work with ISVs that are writing applications for the Windows Mobile platform.
Cool. And actually this week we are at the Mobile Incubation Week in Mountain View, California, and we have 6 teams who are competing for special prizes and developing a new application for the Windows Marketplace for mobile, which is coming out this coming fall.
Right.
And so we're in the middle of that, and we just wanted to take a break and chat about some development considerations when you're on a mobile platform. And,
sure.
And Mike, in general, so let's say I've created maybe a desktop application,
right.
And let's say I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah.
But devices are kind of new and unique. There's a lot of maybe considerations that are different than a desktop.
That's the classic scenario, right? You have your desktop programmer, and now you want to bring, especially now you see it, Windows Mobile has been around for a while, but especially now with the competition with Google and iPhone, like everything's going mobile. And well, that's a good thing. This is a great space to be in. On the other hand, maybe there's not the awareness there needs to be about the mobile space. So, and one of those considerations are when you move your application from the desktop to mobile. A lot of folks just they'll just say, yeah, put it on mobile without putting a lot of thought into it, or it's like, how hard can it be, to put it on a mobile device. And what a lot of folks don't take into consideration, well, some do, some don't, is the unique capabilities of the device. So the fact that it has a camera and a GPS and these features that are unique to the mobile device, right? But are not on the desktop.
Yeah, my PC doesn't have GPS as far as I know.
Right.
Yeah.
So things like that. So that's so probably when you jump into a mobile project one thing is to consider the device and the capabilities of the device, and there's a lot of APIs in Windows Mobile that'll tell you, if a GPS is there, if a camera is there, and then your code can do things, conditionally based on these mobile features, if you will, being there. And another consideration is the user interface, right? You have a much smaller user interface, of course. You have a screen. And so you need to think about kind of the whole mobile experience. And to realize that it's different from the desktop. You're not sitting down in front of a monitor. You have it in your hand. It's a much smaller screen. So you need to have very good navigation. Your screen should be, your user interface should be finger friendly. So keep that in mind. And again, if you're a desktop programmer, these are things you really don't think about, like the width of your icons. If you're on the desktop, right, you just have to worry about the mouse getting there or not. But on a device, it should be big enough for your finger to hit that. That's on a touch device.
For touch devices, yeah,
right.
Sure. And I think that especially with the Windows Mobile platform, we have a diverse set of devices that people can buy,
right?
And not all of them are going to have a touchscreen,
right?
And so right, you want to design it with that in mind. That some folks are going to interact with the touch, and some are going to interact with the keypad.
Yeah, and touch seems to be all the rage right now. There's maybe it seems to be that's outselling probably the non-touch devices. I like the non-touch myself. The advantage of the non-touch device is, well, you lose the touch, true, but it's optimized for one-handed operation. So if I'm walking down the street, or maybe it's not good to walk and look down at my phone at the same time.
Better than driving.
Yeah. So those kind of things are easier on the standard device. Other considerations too when moving from the desktop to mobile are like things like battery life. You won't be connected. You can't assume you have unlimited power. So you need to keep that in mind.
Exactly.
In fact, on MSDN we have a lot of best practices there was the series. In fact, I don't think it's over yet. 24 hours of Windows Mobile, and I did one of those webcasts. In my session, I talked about best practices where I talked about power, keeping that in mind, and things you can do to ensure that you're basically using power wisely. For example, if you have you're drawing in your user interface. Classic examples, you have animation, right? And if your application goes into the background, you probably don't need to update the user interface. And I had an example of this. There's a lot of Twitter clients out now, right?
Right.
Yeah. So which one do you use when you use a mobile device?
So I just found one that's called Twikini.
Twikini.
And I don't know if it's really. It's not really. Well, I guess the cool part about it is that whatever music I'm playing on my phone.
Yeah, I've seen that. You can
be tweeted.
Or it's automatic.
When I turn it on, it runs in the background, and actually, so if I'm listening to music on my phone, it'll actually tweet the name of the song automatically. Okay. Of course, every time
that could get annoying because it's telling your friends every 3 minutes your song you're listening to.
I guess it could get that way. Yeah. But I mean, so how much information do I really need to share with my friends? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was kind of a cool example of me being able to tweet in a lazy way.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was what I found with Tiny Twitter, it came out maybe 8 months ago.
I haven't used that.
Okay,
one. Yeah.
That's another Windows Mobile client, but I found that it's running all the time, right? It's when tweets come in, it actually does polling, so it actually checks whatever interval you set, from 5 minutes to every hour, and I think mine was the default every 15 minutes maybe. But I noticed whenever I started that, no matter what I was doing, my battery, it would just kill my battery, right? Because I'm not watching it all the time, and it's polling, and so I have to make sure that when I'm kind of done using the app, that I go into Task Manager and end that task. Otherwise, it's going to take up my battery.
Okay. Well, Mike, thanks for joining me.
Sure.
And it's time for us to get back to the Mobile Incubation Week.
Right.
We've got some participants who are awaiting this expert help. And so we will have all the results to you at a later date. So we'll check back next time. Thanks for joining us.